G'day, I'm Tony and welcome to Sustenance. Today I'm going to show you how to do some concrete pads in. So pretty much had some a broken concrete square there and some pavers there, and I just want to make the driveway complete. So what I'm going to show you today is go through how to set it up, and then how to mix through the concrete. So how to set it up, I pretty much just used a fencing pick to break apart the concrete here. You don't really need a sledgehammer, I managed without it. And over here I just used a flathead screwdriver with a hammer and managed to take all the bricks out, and I'll use that later for another project. The problem with, so I did a bit of observation, asked a few people, and I reckon what the problem is here and why the concrete broke is this is very clay soil, and they must have done the mix in summer, and pretty much when they laid it down the clay absorbed all the water, the mix didn't cure properly, and that's why it broke. Also it didn't have any rebar in it, so I'm looking to put down 3 to 4 inches of concrete. I'll put the rear mesh in just to provide it a structural integrity, and from here I'm just going to lay the concrete. Something also to keep in mind is around the edges. So all along there I scraped it clean with a shovel, a bit of a broom, because I want the concrete to stick there. I know it'll crack, but I don't want dirt there because that's where weeds can grow later. So concrete mixed, I use the ratio 1:3, 1 bag 20 kilo concrete, 2 times 20 kilos, so 40 kilos worth of builder's sand, and then 60 kilos worth of aggregate. So that's a pretty standard mix, and I've used it before in posts and things that are more load bearing. The way you mix it, I'll give you a quick demo. Pretty much pour the water a little bit at a time. I probably used half a bucket worth, a little over 10 litres, pour a little bit at a time, and then pull it towards the centre. Pull it towards the centre, making sure it's mixed. Something to help me is I pre-mix this already, and then add the water, just make sure the mix is uniform. I can't do this in a wheelbarrow because it's a lot of mix, and I thought it was a bit too much mucking around to use a cement mixer, water and a cement, because it's a small job, it's not a big job. So you can see, pulling it towards the centre. So you can always add extra water in, but you can't take it out. So when you see it starting to firm up like this, cut the water, mix it in a bit, and check that it's good. So, another little trick that you can do to make sure that it's mixed in all around the edges, because you can't reach it with a shovel, is take your weights off, and it's not like a deadlift, just make sure that it's mixed through, like so. Lift with your legs. Make sure that it's all uniform. So I'm satisfied now that the mix is uniform. It's ready to pour. You can do this yourself easily and cheaply. A bag of pure cement will cost you under $10. I bought half a ton of sand, and that's to use for other projects too. That cost me 30, so I can put a couple slabs in for $40 and then have things spare to make more this will probably be only enough for maybe a little bit more than a small one, but I'm going to do another mix up to fill up the other one. Also, these aren't just any rocks. I had some cement pavers that I smashed up, put it underneath the Rio to lift it up, and by using a cement tile, it makes sure that I know the ground is already level underneath it, so uniform spacing, so the mesh is in the middle of the concrete. What else? If you aren't replacing a slab, if you're putting in a new one, you want to tamp it down. You can buy a tamper, it's not a deal, you can get one second hand. It won't cost you more than $50 new, but you just tamp all the ground underneath down. I didn't have to do that here, and I put the plastic down, but again, don't really need to do it here because it's raining, the ground's wet, it's not going to soak through all the water from the concrete. So now I'm just going to tilt the camera up a little bit, and I'm going to start putting down the mix. I'll cut the video here and I'll come back once the mix is laid out. So, didn't quite have enough mix for the first one, but that's okay. I'm going to mix this through, finish that one off, and at least start that one. And then what you can do is use a shovel to get the lower section. As described before. Bit of a well. It's still a bit crumbly, so I'm adding a bit more water. I'll get back to it once this is mixed through to fill in the rest of it. Good morning. So this is day number 2. Pretty much Murphy's Law happened last night, and I hadn't measured out enough bluestone and didn't have enough cement bags. So all last night I was pretty much finishing the mix off, laying it, and then the first couple of loads of cement that I mixed up, they didn't have enough cement or enough sand. They had too much aggregate. So if I was to use or do this again, doing a 1-2-3 mix, you know, I'll just add a couple extra spadefuls to the sand. So that's 1 bag of cement, 2 buckets of 2 20-kilo buckets of sand with a couple spades, heap spades, and then 3 buckets of aggregate. So I'll show you how it turned out. Didn't come out half bad for a first go. Previously I've only sort of done posts and footings and those sort of things. Haven't really done slabs, so yeah, not too bad for a first go. If I was to do it again, I probably wouldn't do it this size. I'd only do it on something a bit smaller because I'm feeling it today. But yeah, that's how I did it, and you know, if you can do something yourself, worth a go sometimes. See what's involved with it. This probably would have turned out better if I had used, you know, the pre-mixed bags of cement, and that's only because the aggregate in it is a bit finer, whereas the stuff I was using, so I'll show you that, a bit more chunky, which is good, but that's why I had to add the extra bit of mortar on top and change the mix a bit. So to do your mortar, I pretty much just use like a quarter of a bag of cement to probably, you know, over half 20 kilo bucket, so what's that, like 12 kilos of sand. So it's not your 126, but you know, that worked. So, you know, and tried to mix it into the top just to cover up any of the exposed rock. Also, when you do this and this is drying, it produces water, so you want to wait like an hour or two for some of that water to start bleeding out, and after that happens, then you can start actually doing the edges and the sides in, you know, making your break lines, so when it does crack, it cracks along there and not in the actual slab. So yep, hope you got something out of it, and planning on doing more gardening videos soon, but yeah, just something a bit different this week. And also, if there's rain forecast, try not to do it. I'd already got everything mixed and then it started sprinkling down. I was lucky, didn't rain too much, and you know, the cement doesn't have too many holes from the rain in it. I didn't cover it up or anything, I just left it to cure all night. But that's just another thing to consider. Easy. Thanks, and I'll see you next time on Southern Sustenance.